Alright, hello again. Here is part 2 of the notes for solving story problems with proportions. Okay, so let's go through problem number 1. Here we go. 15 scoops of lemonade drink mix are needed to make 5 gallons. So you need to put scoops of mix and stir it around and you get 5 gallons of lemonade. How many gallons will 6 scoops of lemonade mix make? Okay, so let's see, this seems like important information. 15 scoops of lemonade mix are needed to make 5 gallons, and that all is one sentence, and that goes together. And then here's the question: how many gallons? How many gallons? Alright, so here we go. X is going to stand for how many gallons? Let's just write gallons. X is going to stand for the gallons. Okay, this sentence goes together. That's going to be my first ratio. 15 scoops of mix, so 15 scoops of lemonade mix makes 5 gallons. Alright, I've got it set up, so now I know that the other side has to match. The other side also has to be scoops and gallons. Okay? Scoops in the numerator, scoops in the numerator. Gallons down underneath, gallons down underneath. Okay, let's see here. Well, X is gallons. X is gallons, so that has to go down here with gallons. And where am I going to get the other information for scoops? Right here. 6 scoops of lemonade. Okay, so I know it takes 15 scoops for 5 gallons. What if I only have 6 scoops? How many gallons will I be able to make? It should be obvious that it has to be less than 5. Alright, cross multiply, because you have 2 equal fractions. Start with the variable. 15 times x is 15x equals, and then multiply these two. 5 times 6 is 30. 15 times x, so the opposite of times, the opposite of multiply is divide both sides by 15. And you get x equals 2. 2 what? Well, x stood for gallons. X stood for gallons, so x must be 2 gallons. And that makes sense. If 15 scoops makes 5 gallons, then 6 scoops can only make 2 gallons. Alright, let's try number 2. You are waiting in line to purchase a concert ticket. Every 10 minutes, the cashier at the head of your line helps 3 people. There are 11 people in line in front of you. Determine how long you will have to wait to purchase tickets. Okay, this looks important. Every 10 minutes, the cashier at the head of your line helps 3 people. Every 10 minutes, the cashier helps 3 people. There are 11 people in line in front of you. Here's the question: how long will you have to wait? How long will you have to wait? So X is going to stand for how long you're going to have to wait, and that's measured in minutes. How many minutes is it going to take for you to get up there to buy your ticket? Alright, every 10 minutes, cashier at the head of your line helps 3 people. That's one sentence. It all goes together. That's your first ratio. Every 10 minutes, a cashier helps 3 people. So that all goes together, so put it in one ratio altogether. Now that establishes how your other ratio is going to go. It's also going to be minutes over people. Alright, you have to be consistent in a proportion. Minutes over people, minutes over people. Now fill in your numbers. X stood for minutes, so X has to go with minutes on top. And what's the only thing left? 11 people. So 11 people. All right. So if it takes 10 minutes to help 3 people, how many minutes to get to help 11 so that you can finally be weighted on? All right, this is a proportion because there are two ratios that are equal. So do a cross multiply trick. It's a great trick. Start with 3 times x because that involves the variable. 3 times x is 3x equals 10 times 11. 10 times 11 is 110. Divide both sides by 3. 110 divided by 3 is 36.6 repeating. 36.6 repeating what? Minutes. Minutes. So I think I'm going to round on this one to approximately 37 minutes. So you're going to have to wait in line for 37 minutes before you finally get waited on to buy the concert tickets. All right, let's try one more. We can do 3 or 4. Number 3 talks about oatmeal cookies. Let's try that one. So a recipe for oatmeal cookies calls for 1 2/3 cups of flour to make 4 dozen cookies. How many cups of flour are needed to make 6 dozen? Okay, doesn't sound too bad. How many cups of flour? There's your question. How many cups of flour? So X is going to stand for cups of flour. And now you'll set up your proportion. All right, right in here it says 1 2/3 cups of flour to make 4 dozen. That goes all together. That's in one sentence and it all goes together. So put that information in one ratio. 1 2/3 cups of flour. 1 2/3 cups of flour over 4 dozen cookies. All right, so on the other side I have to do the same thing. And it's important to me that you include all the words, not just numbers, but words. So on the other side, I'm going to put X cups of flour over 6 dozen. Where did I get the 6 dozen? Right here. How did I know to put X cups of flour on top? Because it needs to match. On this side I have cups of flour over dozens, cups of flour over dozens. All right, here we go. Cross multiply. 4 times X. Hold on here, I'm going to give myself a little more room. Okay, 4 times X is 4X. And then I need to cross multiply this. 6 times 1 2/3. Okay, again I'm going to need a little more room. I'm going to go down here. And I'm going to go 6 times 1 2/3. Then that means I have to go 6 times, and I have to change this to mixed. I'm sorry, to improper. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So 6 over 1 times 5/3. Multiply straight across. 6 times 5 is 30. 1 times 3 is 3, and you get 10. So that was my work. So that's 10. Now divide by 4 on both sides. And you get X equals 10 divided by 4, which is 2.5 cups of flour, and that's possible. You can measure 2.5 cups of flour. Okay, I hope this is helpful, and that's the end of part 2 of your notes. Good luck.